Versarien, the advanced products company with a specialism in graphene, has just produced full year results. Despite revenues of £8.3 million, the company remains focused on the long-term opportunities within this space. The business has also steered to the current climate, and it's recently moved into the business of face masks using graphene technology. Some of the operational highlights out today include the agreement partnership with the aerospace giant Rolls-Royce. It's also working on a project with Airbus to try and find ways to prevent ice buildup on aircraft surfaces. These are things that we knew about, but the reinforcement of the message this morning. Now let's be joined by the Chief Executive, Neill Ricketts. Neill, good to talk to you. As I said at the top, you do have revenues, but I guess you are still focused on the long-term opportunities rather than these numbers out today in your full year figures.
Yeah, I mean, we've been going through a bit of a journey, Jeremy, since we started business in 2011. We floated in 2013. At that time, it was all about offsetting our development costs through our traditional businesses. But as we mature, what's happening is we're becoming more and more focused on the technology opportunities that we have about. And that's demonstrated by, as you say, this graphene mask, which has been brought to market during this period of quite difficult times for everybody, but really addresses one of the main things, which is keeping people safe.
Just update us on just what it is you're doing here with these face masks. And this is something that people can relate to. It's more difficult to find a common theme when talking to investors about what you're doing in the aerospace industry. But masks very much literally in front of people. What are you doing that others aren't in this space?
Well, one of the key things is that we've worked all the way through the COVID-19 pandemic. Our factories have been busy producing essential goods for NHS and key industries. But also during that time, the technical team has had time to look at some of the opportunities that might arise as part of this really terrible time. And we decided at a very early stage, having seen the news in China that masks were going to be part of our future for the coming months, if not years. And it was a great opportunity to be able to take some of the key properties of graphene and be able to incorporate them in something that can literally change everybody's lives. So, when I go out now, I feel safe. I'm wearing my mask. It's comfortable. It's wearable. It's breathable. It's doing a great job in terms of filtration. And that's all because we can incorporate some of these technologies into something that we can deliver to the market right now.
So are you saying that incorporating graphene in this actually gives the wearer an extra level of confidence in terms of trying to combat the spread of this disease?
Well, we think that the way forward, and I have done since day one, is the use of these KN95 masks. They're of a suitable filtration rate that enables you to feel safe. One of the downsides to using one of these masks is that they're very hot when you wear them, and they tend to have some other issues in terms of breathability. But we've been able to work with our Chinese collaboration partner to be able to develop a product which we think overcomes some of those challenges. And the feedback we've had from the first kind of 1,000 people that have tried them is that they work very, very well. So in terms of being able to provide antiviral and antibacterial through the use of graphene and other technologies, we have a mask which you can actually feel safe in. And I feel safe when I'm wearing them. We think masks will actually get used more and more, especially this type of mask. There was a report yesterday from a university where they tested 14 or 15 different types of masks. And this particular type of mask was actually deemed to be the one to wear. And so if you are going to wear a mask, a KN95 mask gives you the best benefits.
Okay, let's move on and take a look at some of the other headlines today. The 1st of July, you had that £5 million Innovate UK loan agreement. What's all this about? And is this anything linked to the difficulties that not just Versarien, but many companies have in the current environment?
Well, no, it's not linked to any difficulties. What it's linked to is a slight change in the UK's administration towards scientific companies. They want to really support scale-up opportunities like ours and other key technologies. They see that the investment that they've made in Manchester and in Cambridge really needs to be brought to market. And so they've stepped up to the plate. They've offered us a £5 million loan. I'm pleased to say that it's included in the report, but we've passed all the security conditions now, and we're looking forward to the first drawdown. And the importance there is it gives us our own capability to be able to deliver more and more of this material to our customers. And more importantly, to be able to prove to our customers that this isn't an interesting science project, that actually if you have big volume opportunities, that there is a way of being able to manufacture this. When we first bought the business in 2014 and 2017 for Cambridge, these were very small laboratory processes. And over the last few years, we've really ramped those up to what I would call industrial processes. But what we're trying to do is build a portfolio of materials, including new materials I haven't even mentioned yet, to be able to find, good homes in industry for those. And coming back to the mask again, this is a classic example where that material can be put to a good home.
Are you confident in the current government and their strategy of trying to support small businesses? I mean, you are really in the eye of some people because you have this new and innovative way of applying something that's been around a while, but graphene is something that really hasn't yet caught off. And I think this is part of the problem I know that Versarien and other graphene companies have, in that it's difficult to explain to people precisely where this technology is going to end up and how much engaged we're going to be in the future with this. Do you get the feeling the government's behind you, or do they yet misunderstand what it is you're about?
No, I think they fully get us now. And I think this administration has done a great job in supporting businesses like ours. What they want to see is they want to see the investment that they've already made come to market, and they want to support businesses like us as we come out of this very difficult period that we've been through with lots and lots of global change, trade wars and Brexit and COVID. And, it's been a very challenging time for any business, let alone a small tech firm. But I've got to be honest, the government is right behind us and has supported us admirably in our task to get this technology into the global markets.
One of the things I know that investors are focused in on are some of the arrangements you have with some of the Chinese companies, very exciting developments I know that you're looking at for future possibilities, these memorandums of understanding with businesses and so forth. In fact, on the 1st of July corporate update, you gave a further detailed update on the Young Graphene Beijing Technology Company Limited deal that you've got going. Do you worry sometimes about the direction of travel in terms of what we're hearing from politicians about the relationship between the West and China, because the tensions appear to be rising in some areas of government?
I think we're acutely aware of the tensions, and we've been working with our advisors at the UK government around how we navigate that. There's no doubt that the Chinese market is a huge market. We've definitely not written off being in China. We still have boots on the floor in China. We're still uncovering lots and lots of opportunities and working through the opportunities we already have. In the case of Young Graphene, we decided that wasn't the route that we wanted to take, and we changed strategy, partly because of the disruption in China because of COVID, partly because some of the political tensions, and partly because, we wanted to maximize the company's benefit and, focus all of our attention on our wholly owned foreign entity and be 100% in control. There's always some doubts about IP theft and about, how the Chinese will adopt to the way that we do things. And so in this particular case, we've kind of cooled it off with Young Graphene, and we are very much working with our Chinese partners who want to work with us directly, not necessarily through the joint venture. Still remain on good terms with all of our guys in China, and we're still maximising our opportunities out there.
And I think you've also brought in a new board member, haven't you? Matt Walker, appointed as head of international strategy and government relations. What sort of a role is he going to take in the business, and what are your advantages, or what are the investors' advantages in having this guy on board?
Well, so Matt was on secondment from the UK government. He was working in the Department of International Trade. I met him a few years ago whilst we were out in Korea, and we really clicked about what we wanted both to do. I thought he would be a great hire, but I couldn't hire him straight out of government. And so he came on secondment, quite unprecedented. At the time, we had two members of the UK government on secondment. And subsequently, he's decided to join us as an employee, as a full-time member. And his role is very much about looking at China, looking at South Korea, Japan, the US, and our international footprint. So, it's a big thing to take someone out who's a kind of big civil servant and put him into a small entrepreneurial-led business, and for him to be happy to do that. It's a real coup.
Yeah, look, Neil, we've spoken a number of times before, and at this time of the interview, we always bring up a share price, because I think it's only fair for investors that are looking at this to see just what's been happening and what your explanation is as to what's going on. And you said earlier in the interview, if we look at the shares at 44 at the moment on the London Stock Exchange, you said before about the fact that it's a question of trying to engage with people and enable them to understand better about what it is you're doing. But just quickly reiterate what you're saying to investors at the moment, given what we've seen today from the release, given where we are in terms of the development of this particular sort of technology and Versarien's position within that market.
So, we don't run the share. The share is a supply demand as the market is driven. What we're doing is running the business. And what we've been able to demonstrate, especially post-period here, is that we've been able to secure the funding of the business through the Lanstead deal, but also the Innovate loan. We've been able to launch products, and we're just getting on with business, and we have done all the way through COVID-19. This will be a very long period without any holidays for a lot of my team, and it's been very hard work. I think this is a very difficult time for the market. There's a lot of unease around these external factors, Brexit, we spoke about COVID and the trade wars and things like that going on. So that does make the market nervous. But, we've got a great business here, which is starting to demonstrate that it's bringing products to market. And this can only be the beginning for us, as far as I'm concerned.
What are your thoughts on revenues and when the company's going to turn a profit and all the questions that retail investors have, which could see an uptick in the share price? What's your message about returning value to shareholders?
I think we're still continuing to develop technologies, and we will be doing that for a long time. I think it's a very difficult balance between turning very small profitability or investing that money into stuff that's longer term. We don't make any forecasts about what our customers decide when they bring their products to business. All we can do is run the business as well as we can. We've been taking advantage of things like furlough for some of our employees who are unable to work because of their health conditions, and managing the business and making sure that our costs are in line with the money that we've got available. In terms of what we've been able to achieve during this period, the placing that we did with Lanstead and the subsequent sharing agreement, the £5 million Innovate loan, and some of the other grants that we've been awarded show that the business is very capable of being run well. So we will still continue to develop. It's just a balance, as far as we're concerned, between profitability and development.
Yeah, one final question has to be about how you're going to emerge from this period of furlough for certain members of staff I know you've just mentioned. What are your ambitions in terms of re-engagement with staff, bringing them back on as full paid up members? Are you able to do that, do you think, or do you think ultimately you'll have to look potentially at the possibility of laying off some staff after they come back from furlough?
I think that's an interesting thing. I'm not sure whether some of our staff want to come back, having been away for 3 months, but we continue to monitor the situation. We're very diligent. We have a great relationship with our employees. We've been making sure that they're well looked after through this entire period. We've worked very closely with them to make sure the right people are in the right places at the right time and that they're safe. And we'll continue to do that. So we'll continue to talk to our employees. I think it's a difficult time in terms of knowing what's coming. I do quite a lot of work with advisory panels like the Bank of England. And even they sometimes don't know what's coming and what rate of recovery there'll be. So we'll continue to manage the business as best we can. Yeah,
it's a pleasure as ever. Neil, thanks indeed for your time. It's much appreciated to talk to you on this day of the release of the full year earnings. But of course, the focus remains on pretty much what the company's doing as it positions itself within this new and exciting area of graphene technology. That's Neill Ricketts, the Chief Executive and Founder of Versarien. For more videos from us here at IGTV, join us on Twitter @IGTV and subscribe to our YouTube channel.